Professor, you've forgotten something.
I never forget anything.
Well, class was over half an hour ago.
Well, at least you got your money's worth.
WTCN-TV continuously strives to bring you the best possible television entertainment and information. WTCN-TV is owned and operated by WTCN Television Incorporated, a service of Metro Media Television. WTCN-TV operates by permission of the Federal Communications Commission on Channel 11. The transmitter is located at 960 West County Road F in Shoreview, Minnesota. Studios at 441 Boone Avenue North, Minneapolis. Now WTCN-TV continues its broadcasting service.
WTCN Television continues its broadcast service with an inspirational message, Inspiration for Living, supplied by one of several religious denominations. The series represents the religious diversity of the community that supports the strong and healthy continuance of the ideals of American society. The following message is an example of the presentations provided as a public service by the television industry and WTCN Television to serve spiritual concerns. Now, Inspiration for Living.
Loneliness. Nobody needs it. Everybody experiences it. All of us feel it, one time or another. But there is a cure for loneliness in the strength that families offer. There's a cure for loneliness in family values of love and helping. Remember, you're part of God's family. And you can find the strength of family values in your house of worship. Joining with other people, working with others, giving of yourself. Then you're not lonely. And there's also help for the problems you face. Remember, you're part of God's family. Find the strength of family values in your house of worship.
Welcome to What's New. My name is Nancy Nelson. If you are new to What's New because of our hour, of course, it's 5 o'clock in the morning now. For years, Warren Martin and Warren will be here soon. Right now, he's enjoying himself in Scandinavia. But for many years, Warren and I have sat here at 11:30 in the afternoon with an hour program that we've shared with the folks who are actually up that time of day. You are a new audience to us for the most part, up for work. Many of you, we understand, are people in rural areas, farmers. We will be doing some things that are oriented toward agriculture and our friends whose life is made in that endeavor. And we do have a lot of interesting people that we meet here on What's New. We share controversial things with you, hopefully, certainly entertaining things. And we're very excited because we are now a part of the NBC family. That means that our little tiny station, and it has been that, a very pleasant one, an independent station, has turned into a larger family, and we've kind of encompassed people from all over the country, most of them coming to our news department, because we now will have a very big news effort at 6 and 10 o'clock. We want you to be with us for that. One of the people who came in with a bang, I mean that literally, because she came in with these big brown eyes and captivated everyone, and everyone talks about how talented she is. And we want you to meet her today, one of our new news people, Jane Mitchell. Hi, Jane.
Well, thank you very much, Nancy. I appreciate you saying that. Of course, I have a lot to improve on.
No, well, we all improve, but it's true. I mean, people started right away saying, boy, she's really, ooh, you read very well, which is interesting because there are an awful lot of people who read news and an awful lot of them who don't read news well. Did you study a lot of people to decide what you thought worked and what didn't?
Not really. I have a naturally deep voice. I think that might help me out just a bit, although, of course, as I said before, I think I have a lot to improve on. But I'm always so interested and excited about what I'm reading, and I think it's so great to be able to be informing people that maybe I'm just naturally excited, and that transmits itself.
It does, and that's good, because people then care about what you're doing. You're originally a New Yorker.
Yeah, I was born and raised in Manhattan.
Isn't that something? Do you miss it? Because once you've been a New Yorker, there isn't any other city that is as like that and vital as that?
Yeah, they say New Yorkers are the most provincial people in the world. And as a matter of fact, when I went down to Florida, because I was previously working in Florida for the past year and a half, my dad said to me, he said, don't be a typical New Yorker. Don't get down there and say that the world is New York and there's nothing else beyond that. Because a lot of New Yorkers do that, and they alienate everyone around them immediately. And so I tried not to do that. And I think I succeeded, I don't know. But I think that there are a lot of fascinating things outside of New York. I miss New York, but I don't miss it half as much now that I'm in Minneapolis, because Minneapolis and New York have a lot of things in common, whereas Fort Myers and New York had less.
Minneapolis is interesting. Those of us who were born and raised here tend to think of it as a nice, friendly little town, because it has that atmosphere. People are friendly and pretty laid back and easygoing, and yet people who visit us tell us that it has a metropolitan excitement about it.
It does. It has a lot of the good things of New York without a lot of the bad things, which is interesting. It's sort of, in a sense, would be like taking some of the nicest aspects of New York and just compacting it to a great degree. I like it a lot. I'm having a little trouble with the roads because
we all do, Jane.
I'll see something over there that I want to get to.
Yes.
10 hours later, after I've been through Fort Snelling and I don't know how many other places, I'll get there. So the transportation thing is a problem
I see what you mean, getting on and off freeways.
Yeah,
and all
I'm
of that
not used to the freeways. In Florida, they have freeways, but being a very flat place, they're just like big roads. Here, there's all sorts of really intricate clover leaves that you've really got to memorize to get where you're going.
If you were born and raised in Manhattan, how come you don't talk like that? That's what everybody in Manhattan talks like.
Well, I don't know. Sometimes I talk like this, you know, like it depends.
Here we are. Did you work to get rid of it?
No, I never had a Brooklyn or let's say a New York accent.
I'm amazed you escaped it.
Yeah. My parents don't have accents at all, and most of my friends didn't. You find a lot of people, I don't know, some people develop a New York accent and others don't. I think it depends maybe on the people that you're going to school with a lot, because when you're in school, you usually tend at an early age to pick up accents of people around you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've shared a few things in common already in the couple of weeks you've been here. Having done the news on What's New when we were still at 11:30, you said to me one day, you must like animals because we have the dogs and things for adoption on and off. And you too are an animal lover.
Yes, I am. I'm a vegetarian, not a strict vegetarian. I eat fish and shrimp, seafood, but I don't eat chicken or meat. And I am very much of an animal lover. I think that we really have to do something right now. I've been reading quite a bit about the vivisection industry and things like that. And of course, it's necessary, naturally, for people to consume meat in certain circumstances. That's my own personal choice. I don't like to be dogmatic about it and have dinner with people and say, well, why do you eat that and why do you eat this? I cannot stand doing that. But I personally just don't think it's necessary for my health. I haven't eaten meat for about 10 years, aside from one liverwurst sandwich that my doctor insisted that I eat, and I did not like it. So I've been doing very well without it, and I take a lot of vitamins, too, to compensate for it. I think so many vegetarians will adopt a vegetarian diet, and then they'll start eating junk food.
Yes, yeah.
Which I am somewhat...
prone to?
Well, I have to really watch myself. I like sweets, but now I'll have honey instead of sugar, or a bran muffin instead of a piece of pastry. And fruit instead of dessert. You know.
It's interesting. My husband and I have been vegetarians now for about 2 years, and what happens first is that you cut out meat, and then you find out you're missing all kinds of things. You have to educate yourself pretty carefully. You can't just do it. And it is also interesting when you said, I don't like to be dogmatic about it, because people think you're going to evangelize about it, whereas it really is just it's a personal choice.
Yes.
Sometimes a health commitment, sometimes a moral commitment, but I'm not evangelizing to anyone.
Right, absolutely. And, I notice a lot of times people will center the conversation around your vegetarianism at a dinner table, and it's so embarrassing because you really don't want to go into it. Just because you're going to have a salad or skip one portion of the main course, you're going to eat all the vegetables and everything else. Well, why'd you decide to become a vegetarian? You know you need that meat. And I always feel like I'm monopolizing the dinner table conversation and
talking about your eating habits.
And talking about my eating habits, while everybody else is wanting to get on another subject or whatever.
We're glad you came to Minnesota, but I would imagine, because you're young and you're talented, that you have a lot of plans. Are you a lady with goals set?
Yes,
places to be going?
I have a lot of goals, although I think that right now I've just achieved a goal by getting here, and so
Good.
I have to work on this quite some time, I think. So I'm very happy with this, and I think a lot of my goals now center around not so much your formal career pursuit as much as perfecting what I have to do here in my work as far as reporting.
So that's a good opportunity, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a good place to learn. We may get under your skin. You may find, like an awful lot of people who come because Minnesota is supposed to be a good stepping stone, that you don't really want to leave. If we're very lucky, you'll stay with us a long time.
Well, I hope so. I would like very much to do that.
Welcome.
Great.
Welcome.
Thank you very much, Nancy.
Be happy here.
Okay, I will.
Good. We'll be right back. We have much more ahead on What's New. We're going to have a videotaped interview in a short time with Warren Martin and some man who's put together a book on science fiction art. It's really fascinating.
Guess what? It's Girl Scout cookie time again. Girl Scout cookies, like Girl Scouts, come in all shapes, sizes, and colors. Like chocolate chip, shortbread sugar cookies, chocolate mint cookies, cheddar cheese crackers, chocolate vanilla creams, and peanut butter creams.
To order your Girl Scout cookies by phone, call this number now. If you believe in tomorrow, buy Girl Scout cookies today.
It's at 5 on Channel 11.
Clean beans, healthy beans, as far as you can see. That's the way you grow 'em now, 'cause Tolban sets you free. Tolban has the tolerance that lets you use it right. You're free to spray the rate you need. Keep grasses out of sight. It's the grass control you've always wanted. Tolban tolerance sets you free.
About a year ago, we congratulated Kathy Korwicki because she was named Miss Wheelchair Minnesota. Now we're looking toward, my goodness, may you give up the crown. You keep the wheelchair.
Yep.
How are you? Have you had a good year?
Really good.
It's nice to see you again.
Thank you.
You've brought along today Sandy Gordon, and Sandy is a special program coordinator with Sister Kenny's Institute there, and of course the special work that Sister Kenny has done over the years, Sandy. And this Miss Wheelchair pageant is very special because not only does it allow people confined to wheelchairs this sort of outlet, but I think it brings to it the attention of those of us who are fortunate enough to walk something very unusual and unique about these people.
I hope so. The idea of the pageant is to show everybody, the general public, everyone around, that women in wheelchairs can accomplish a lot. Just how much a person is able to accomplish, and we're trying to make the public aware of the need to remove architectural barriers and especially the need to remove attitudinal barriers, because there are a lot of those around.
It's interesting you would say that because you seem to be a lady from our discussions who doesn't let a whole lot stop her, and yet there are a lot of things that are out of your control. Those architectural barriers, things that until you mentioned them to me almost a year ago, I never thought of. Being able to use a payphone, in many cases not even being able to push the buttons in an elevator. Are strides being made, not token strides, but significant strides in changing some of those things?
Yes, I've seen a lot of improvement in the last year because of the Section 504.
Which is?
The code. It's a section of the 1963 Rehabilitation Act, and they have to have, certain things have to be up to code and accessible.
Kathy, we've talked about it before, but perhaps our audience wasn't with us then. How did you come to be in a wheelchair?
I was in a car accident when I was 17, my senior year in high school.
And have been confined ever since? How long has that been?
Now everybody will know my age. 12 years.
Well, maybe they're not good at arithmetic. Hopefully it's early enough and the cobwebs are still there this morning. If I'm asking anything I shouldn't, tell me, because you don't have to answer. Yeah, you don't have to answer. All kinds of things come to mind at 17. At any age, any person who has had the opportunity to know the difference between walking and then not walking must go through tremendous shock. And there are people out there who may be going through that now. Is there anything anyone can say to help them?
It's really time and working through yourself. It's the same as, have you ever heard the 7 stages of death?
No.
Elizabeth Kubler-Ross has done a lot of work on death and the acceptance of death. Like, if you were to find out today you have cancer, incurable cancer, you would go through these stages of denial, of depression, of bargaining with God. I'll be the best person in the world if only I can walk.
Are we on the third step?
I'm not sure if I'm in the right ones. I'm not probably in chronological order. But there's all these stages until finally you come to acceptance, where you live one day at a time. I can live this. I know that I'm going to be in a wheelchair, but I don't like the word acceptance. I like the word adjust. I've adjusted to it. I'll never accept what's happened to me, never. But I've adjusted to it, and it doesn't bother me anymore. I don't let my chair get in the way.
Is it really possible? I mean, it sounds good to say my chair doesn't get in the way. Is that absolutely possible?
Well, no, I'm to the point, yes, where I was at 17, where there are times and there's modifications and things that I do, and you have to accept some of that stuff, or you're just not going to make it. But I do everything I want to do now.
A movie that was so very popular and has received great accolades now as we see the Academy Awards coming out this year was Coming Home, starring John Voight. He played in it a paraplegic as a result of the Vietnam War. One of the things they dealt with in that film, and I recall him talking on the Carson show about it, receiving letters from people in wheelchairs, was their sexuality, the sexuality of a person confined to a wheelchair. And often we think when we see someone handicapped, as you might be, that of course that can't be a part of your life anymore. Is that something we impose upon you, the psychological barriers Sandy mentioned?
A lot of people assume that handicapped people are asexual and don't have any sex at all, where it's the same as everybody else. Not more so. And other people seem to think that we're sex maniacs, and that's all we think about, which may be true in some cases.
Not any more than the average random choice of people. Sandy, we do want people to know that this Miss Wheelchair pageant will come about in May. And are we looking for entrants as well as
very much
viewers?
So. We're looking for contestants to come. Anybody that would like an application may call me. We're also looking for people to come to the pageant. It is free. It is open to the public. There will be live music. It will be at the St. Paul Radisson Hotel. Governor Quee will be there. And it is the kickoff for Handicapped Awareness Week in the state. And we would like as many people as possible to come.
There it is, 6:30, Saturday night, May 12th. The best part of it is that it's absolutely free. You can see the phone number there, 874-4825. If there's somebody sitting out there right now in a wheelchair thinking, that might be exciting, but I'd feel so dumb, what can you do to encourage them?
Oh, it's just an opportunity of a lifetime. It's just so much fun. If I wouldn't have won last year, I'd have entered again this year. It was just a tremendous experience. It's the whole weekend, the gala events, the dresses, and the judging, the experience.
What is the competition? What kind of competition?
You're judged. There's 7 judges, and they ask all kinds of questions, and it's scary. Every one of us was scared. Yeah,
that's the primary.
But the self-confidence you gain from just that weekend. Everybody walked away with something they didn't possess when they came in. It was a tremendous weekend. I loved it. It was terrific. Even if I wouldn't have won, I'd still be saying this.
It's nice you came.
Thank
I'm so
you.
glad you're happy and doing well. You come see us again, won't you?
I will.
Kathy Korwicki, currently Miss Wheelchair Minnesota, gives up that crown in May, and you can see her give it up and see the replacement take over. Sandy, we hope many people call you.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming. Nice to see you today. We'll be back in just a moment. Stay right where you are.
From the rising of the sun till the time that it goes down, the name of the Lord shall be praised.
Start your day with PTL at 6 a.m. on this channel.
Oh, the name of the Lord shall be praised. Yes, the name of the Lord shall be praised.
The Winter City Project, an activity of the Minneapolis Committee on Urban Environment, is concerned with making the Twin Cities more attractive and livable in the winter. Most pictures publicizing the Twin Cities contain pleasant summer scenes. However, as Minnesotans, we appreciate that nothing grows for one half of the year. Our grandfathers knew how to construct attractive buildings and plant landscaping that looks as attractive in the winter as it does in the summer. When you plant a tree this spring, think about evergreens. They maintain their beauty all year long and are a nice contrast with other native northern trees. Evergreens protect us from the winter wind, give us privacy, and create a beautiful contrast with the snow. If you paint your house this year, consider which colors look best in winter. Red, green, and yellow are considered warm colors and look good on the white robe of winter. For information on planning and maintenance of evergreens, write Bulletin Room, University of Minnesota, St. Paul 55108, and request a free booklet on evergreens, or call 373-1615.
I always used to dream of castles. Never thought I'd go anywhere. But look at me now. I'm in the army, seeing things I never thought I'd see. Working away, that's not too much to pay to bring my castles home to me.
One good way to see Europe is to enlist for it.
It's nice to have you with us this morning. We've already told you that this is a new time and a new place for What's New. And mostly we would like to hear from you. You know, not having been here this early in the morning before, we don't even know how many of you are out there, how many of you are up. For goodness sakes, if there's something you'd like us to talk about, or even if you just want to drop us a note to let us know you're there, we'd like so much to hear from you. We're most anxious for the feedback as we now occupy this new position. And you know, we do have a live studio audience. We are not live at this moment, I can promise you. I'm somewhere in my bed right now resting, but we do videotape at 11:30 to 12:30 every morning, and we've always had a live studio audience. If you or your group or perhaps some of the kids from the school that you attend would like to be a part of our live studio audience, perhaps promote an upcoming event, we'd be happy to have you come in, watch the show live, give you the opportunity to promote your event, be on the air with us. And it's very simple. Just call us here. Usually the morning is the best, sometime between 9 and 11 here at WTCN-TV. Our phone number is very easy because we're channel 11, 546-1111. Give us a call and you can come in and be a part of What's New and watch us live here in the studio. One of the ladies who's always been on What's New all of the 7 years that we've been on the air is still with us, Lana Mosa with Figure Fitness. Hi, Lana.
Hello. Lots of good letters coming in, and thank you very much. We've got a good letter from one of our regular viewers. Now, this might really relate to all of you out there. She says that she's been following our exercise program for a long time, and just when she was going to give up and decide that exercise didn't work, she started getting a lot of good compliments. People had remarked about how much weight she'd lost. Now, in all reality, she's not lost any weight at all, but she has tightened up and firmed up and actually changed the dimension of her muscles because of tone and, of course, better contour. So what appears to be a good weight loss is just merely a matter of re-proportioning. And, of course, she does ask if one can lose weight with exercise, and yes, one can, depending on how often you do it, and with the seriousness and the energeticness, and of course also what happens to the eating habits along the way. Even if you should not change your eating habits, you can lose weight, of course a minimum amount of weight, if you just expend more calories. That sounds like a good idea. Let's do it now. Let's warm up with some jogging in place. Let's go. In terms of results and really expanding energy, it also depends on how much energy you put into those exercises. And as you get going in a program, oftentimes you find yourself much more energetic because we are fueling the body with lots of fresh blood, fresh oxygen. All right, let's add a little hop. Now, our viewer here asked predominantly about good abdominal exercise, because although she's noticed a lot of good change in her legs and in her hips, still tends to have a little bit of the potty problem. So let's go right to the floor and share some good exercises with this viewer, as well as all of you out there. Lots of good exercises to do. Let's move right along into our first half sit-up. We keep the knees bent, the arms extended forward. We roll back. We come up about halfway. And at that point, we really tighten those abdominal muscles, hold them tight as we roll back. And again, the slight hold, keep them tight as you roll back. All right, now let's go right to the other exercise. Now that's just exactly right on the spine, so we have to lie all the way back. Here's a good exercise. We'll work more through the upper abdominal area as well as the lower area. The hands clasped behind the head. Let's first bend the left knee, and we reach up with the right elbow to touch. And we get a bit of a twist to touch the outer side of the knee. All right, and of course we repeat that same procedure. The right knee bends. The left elbow reaches up to touch the outer part of the knee. So we get a bit of a twist, and we'll roll back, and we bring the opposite set up together. All right, now those exercises are very, very compatible, so it's very good to do those as a set. And yet go on to another good abdominal exercise, this time a little bit more advanced, and also we get the advantage of working the hips as well as the abdominals. All right, let's come back, but a little bit more on the hand. The legs are stretched forward, and to begin with, we begin just a roll from side to side on the hips. So far we've got just a bit of a hip and thigh exercise. All right, now to add to that and make it more abdominal as well as hip and thigh, let's brace back even further on the hands. We lift the legs off the floor and we're rolling from side to side. This is not intended to be one of your easier abdominal exercises, but of course we all need that challenge. Now use your hands as you roll from side to side and we push off. A great exercise, and if we can't do it now, at least we can work up to it. We'll see you next time on Figure Fitness. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Lana, so very much. We're going to be right back after this commercial, and it's not often we talk to you about the state wanting to give you money. It's true. If it's yours, they want to give it back. We'll be right here.
Hello, I'm Tom Brokaw, and not surprisingly, I think that today is an excellent way to start you off every weekday morning, Monday through Friday mornings at 7 here on the new NBC 11. Jane Pauley, Gene Shellin, and I will be here along with Floyd Kelber and Bob Ryan with the news and weather. Plus, we'll have the rest of the Today team taking a look at a wide variety of subjects every Monday through Friday morning here on the new NBC 11, serving Minneapolis, St. Paul, the Twin Cities of Minnesota.
There is altogether too much forgetting these days.
Professor.
Please don't interrupt. Now, does anyone know how many taxpayers who itemize overlook important deductions every year? Well, I'll tell you, lots of them. Now, the IRS wants you to take every deduction that's coming to you, and still, people forget.
Excuse me, Professor.
I'm talking. Now, they forget to take off the cost of their working uniforms. They forget to deduct their union dues. They forget to include their mileage or their cab fares to and from the doctor as part of their deductible medical expense. It all adds up.
Please, Professor.
The fee for their safe deposit box, the cost of the physical exam if requested by their employer, legitimate deductions. It's in their tax instructions. So why do people forget to take them?
Professor, you've forgotten something.
I never forget anything.
Well, class was over half an hour ago.
Well, at least you got your money's worth.
I want you to be the first to know. I joined the Army, so I guess it means goodbye. Chris, I joined the Army, so I guess this means goodbye. Susie, I've joined the Army, so I guess it's goodbye. I joined the Army, so I guess it's goodbye. I'm leaving for the Army next week.
When did you join?
Last July.
With the Army's delayed entry program, if you qualify, you can enlist now and take up to 12 months to say goodbye. Contact your local Army representative.
We are with James Lord, State Treasurer, and we want to talk to him about unclaimed funds.
Exactly.
You have been already in the process of publicizing the week of March 4th, all of this week, and all of next week, we
Right.
will see lists of up to how many names are we talking about? Thousands.
Well, the total of 14,141 Minnesotans have $5.5 million awaiting them. And we've got some pretty good news for
Not
them.
each person.
No,
Not each
that's the
person.
total amount. But most people are unaware that they have this money owing to them. So we are publishing their names in the newspapers in the county of their last known address. And these ads I would like everyone to look at, because some marvelous things happen when they read those ads. They may see their own name
Yes.
and call my office and find they have money. Or they may see a deceased relative's name, who, that's where a lot of this money comes from, sitting in bank accounts where grandma or grandpa had some money. And as they got older, maybe they forgot about it or died, and the family wasn't notified of these savings accounts that they had. Or people may see the name of a friend who has moved. And what people will generally do when they see that is they'll either contact their friend and say, you better call the treasurer's office, they've got some money for you, or they will call my office and tell us the whereabouts of that person. We can locate them there.
The good part is that you do want to read the list because you don't owe anybody anything. You get to pick up money. I would imagine you obviously have to be able to prove you're that person.
Certainly. We don't want to give somebody your money if you had money coming from you. But there are procedures for that, and it's generally not that complicated to prove who you are.
Jim, let me just draw their attention here to the phone numbers on the screen. You may want to get a pencil. If you live in the outstate area, 1-800-652-9747. In the metro area, you may call 296-2568. Calling those numbers, telling them who you are, or if you have a deceased relative and you give them that name, you'll be able to tell them over the phone if they're on the list or not.
That's right.
Of course, we would like everyone to read their papers as opposed to calling.
Right, because I tell you right now, we are flooded with phone calls with these names being published in newspapers. I'm down there all the time, even helping out the staff. We have at least 12 people at all times manning our telephones, and at the moment, we can't keep up with them. But that's what we appreciate that so many people are inquiring, because we'd like to see as much of this money as possible returned to the rightful owners. Last year, for instance, we returned over $1 million to Minnesotans, and most of them didn't know about the money.
That's, of course, the amazing part. If you have a relative who has deceased and left those bank accounts, it's interesting that the law was created to see to it that people got their money back. But what if you just can't find them? What if after this major campaign, there's still a lot of money sitting there and you don't know where those people are?
Okay, first of all, after this campaign of publishing the names, people don't come forward. We then go to vital statistic records, probate court records, the latest city directories, and whatever resources we can come up with to locate the people. Now, failing that, if we still can't find them, the state never claims title to this money.
Never?
Never. The state holds it as a custodian of the funds. The funds are invested, and the use of it goes to the general public and the taxpayers.
Interest and things like that, realize.
But if people come forward 100 years from now and make a claim, they'll get their money. Also, a nice part about this program is the legislature has acknowledged that we're not going to be able to find everyone, as much as we try. So just a small percentage of the amount of money we identify is used as overhead to publish the names and to run the unclaimed property division. So your tax dollars aren't used to match somebody else with their money.
That's really nice. I was just going to ask that, because when you tell me you've got a staff of 12 people who can't keep up with it all, we're talking about a considerable amount of money just to run the project.
That's right. Now, those staff people who are now answering the phones, during the peak periods now they're in the office, they're out examining banks and so on, and that has been very useful. For instance, one bank had reported what they said were all of their unclaimed savings accounts, about $10,000 worth. My staff examined that bank and found an additional $250,000, Nancy, that the bank not only failed to report in other people's money, but had taken it in as bank income by putting service charges on these people's savings accounts. We demanded that they reconstruct all those accounts, which they did, and we have been publishing their names, too, of the people who have savings accounts.
Now, the catch in this is that the law says the banks or the private firms who owe somebody money or things like that, by law, must do their very best to locate these people.
Right.
We're seeing, however, on your published list that there are a lot of people. I saw the other night, my boss was on your list. The Old Log Theater from Excelsior had money due him. It's impossible for me to believe that somebody can't find the Old Log Theater.
Oh, it's incredible. And like you say...
They're not doing what they're supposed to by law, then.
That's right. Now, for instance, not only the Old Log Theater, these banks said they couldn't find. And by the way, we have to publish every list that these banks and so on say they can't find. Well, they said they couldn't find the University of Minnesota, the Minneapolis Star and Tribune, the Dayton Hudson Company, the Pillsbury family, the Congdon family, American Express Corporation. Now, it has, in the past, it's been to their benefit to hold the money.
Sure, of course.
But it's not their money. And they should do, I think, everything in their power to try and get it back to the people who have a right to it.
It's interesting that since you've been state treasurer, this has been such a very important project to you. Isn't the statistic something like prior to your coming into office, 12% of that money was returned on an annual basis, and now we're up to about 40%.
Right. And we're talking about now a much larger sum. In the past, before anybody started enforcing this law, only about $110,000 was reported annually voluntarily as unclaimed funds. In this report alone, we've identified $5.5 million.
What about voluntarily reporting it? If a business has an account or money that they owe someone, should they call your office because they can't find those people?
Yeah, and we'll help them, tell them what the law is and how to report those funds.
Once again, those are the phone numbers if you're wondering if there is money due you, not if you owe money, but if there is unclaimed funds that should be coming back to you. You can call the toll-free number if you're outstate or the metro area number, and by all means watch your newspapers, and if depending upon which county you live in, you'll be able to trace it down that way as well.
Exactly.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Nancy.
Nice to see you, Jim.
Thanks.
We'll be back in just a moment. We're going to be meeting a gentleman who put together a book on science fiction art. It's extraordinary.
Well, reading's really fun and it's interesting. It gives you information on other people. If you start reading a book, you might start liking it and you might be able to read some more books to get more facts. It's really nice reading. It's like another land that you can just go into when you pick up a book and start reading.
Hi, I'm Don Peterson from downtown Brothertown with valuable deals and lots of wheels like this model here with winter equipment, with snows, heater, AM/FM stereo. Here's our competition model with heavy-duty equipment and bumper guards. And here's another model with racing stripes and steel-belted sneakers. Here's another model with tinted glass and air conditioning. So to check on the perfect model in your neighborhood, contact the local Big Brother office.
We have lined up a terrific guest for What's Known. She said, this one is for you, Warren. Well, the truth of the matter is, it's really not only for me, it's for everybody. But I am very anxious for you to meet Mr. Ian Summers, and welcome to the Twin Cities and to What's New, Ian.
Good morning.
The book that you have put together is called Masterpieces of Science Fiction Art, Tomorrow and Beyond. And I suppose some people might think, well, this is a rather limited target audience, but it is not. It's incredible,
it's not limited indeed. It's growing, and it's suddenly become very respectable for science fiction readers and lovers of the art to come out of the closet and people are talking about it now, and certainly the film industry has made it respectable.
One of the other things you indicate in here, which I think gives you some indication of how this is really broadening, or why there's some merit in discussing it at all. You say science fiction art, like science fiction itself, assumes a special mission in training the imagination. And it's pretty difficult not to look at some of these illustrations and come up with that very conclusion.
Well, it's kind of interesting to me because people who don't read science fiction, who have looked at the book and enjoyed it, have told me that they've been able to conjure their own stories from the images, which is kind of fun.
We'd like you to show some of these to you, and you can get an idea of the kind of things that we're talking about. Perhaps you can comment on some of these.
This is a page from Tomorrow and Beyond on aliens, and aliens are creatures that inhabit other planets. But then again, if an Earthling were visiting someplace else, that Earthling would be an alien.
Wait a minute now, let's see if we can identify a couple of these, Michael, before you go quite past. It looks like a dragon or a big lizard, and this is a monk or a priest.
And it's not just simply a lizard, it's a lizard that has quite a bit of intelligence. You have the feeling that the monk and that lizard are communicating about something that's highly technological. Here we have more humanoid type of aliens who resemble humans, less frightening, but certainly, and they look quite friendly.
Okay. Look at this.
Oh, now that looks like a horse, monkey type person on an elevator shaft wires.
That's exactly what's happening, but this particular alien has had to adapt itself to achieve a pretty complicated task for its weight and size. And you see that it's constructed all kinds of tools to make it possible for it to do that. It's kind of a friendly alien as well, as opposed to this. This is you are now witnessing the birth of a dragon.
And I bet that's the way they're born. You know that? I mean, you know,
oh, I've had lots of arguments with people about how dragons are born, whether they hatch or they're live born.
This has a particular significance in our part of the country.
That's right. This is a painting by John Berky, who is a resident of Excelsior. John is one of the foremost science fiction artists in the genre. He's done more paintings than I'm sure that he could count.
Excelsior, Minnesota, by the way. This is particularly interesting in that it seems to be more real than almost any of the others.
That's right. Well, a science fiction illustrator has got to be more than simply a painter. They've got to conjure images, they've got to be able to make the familiar strange and the strange familiar, but they also have to have a technological base. They have to be a biologist, a zoologist, an engineer in order to make it believable. This painting is also a spacecraft, but it's a lot more whimsical. This is by Paul Lear, and it's almost insect-like. And we're not so sure whether that one can fly compared to the John Berky.
This is a terrific effort.
This is kind of a cosmic chess game. We're not sure whether that green hand is to represent a deity or maybe the Jolly Green Giant, but it's certainly someone who's manipulating the universe.
Look at that.
I asked you if these were available in poster form, and I was kind of disappointed by your response.
Right. Unfortunately, not yet. Perhaps in the future we're going to do that. We find that the format of Tomorrow and Beyond is such that a lot of students are buying it and tearing the book apart, which makes me very happy. And they're hanging it up on their dormitory walls, and I love that. I think
that's awful.
Look at this, Nancy.
I hate
it, isn't it? Why?
Oh, I don't know. There's something about all those eyes coming out of the dark and glaring.
Jan Savka's Sea of Eyes is what it's called. This was done by Jan for his own portfolio and was not a commission. Most of the paintings were commissioned by publishers or record producers and advertisers.
That's fascinating to me. Do you know what the symbolism behind it is?
Well, we all see this. This is from a section in the book which is called Symbolism, and it permits the viewer to certainly bring themselves to it. But we've all seen the faces in the clouds and faces in the trees, and this one is maybe a little bit too real.
So this is the forest, and here's our little face in the tree, right? I wonder what kind of birds live there.
Now this doesn't look, we've got a horse and a man, but then in the background it seems we're represented with, oh, it's a unicorn, I missed that.
That is a unicorn, and we have that human character has arrived in a spaceship and has made his first encounter with life on this particular planet.
Beautiful though, isn't it?
That's a painting by Boris Vallejo, and that was actually Boris in that he poses for all of his own paintings.
This looks like evil, doesn't it, Warren?
I don't know. I was thinking of the strength and the power there. That's what I see.
Yeah. This is from a section in Tomorrow and Beyond on barbarians, which is a very popular area. Edgar Rice Burroughs and Robert E. Howard popularized that with Conan and Tarzan. But this is a futuristic barbarian. We're not sure if that's today, the past, or the future.
These are just a few samples of the many, many things. There are a couple in here that you especially
Yes.
wanted to show too, Nancy. Maybe
This
we can
is
get a shot of
fascinating
those.
because it is a shot that is familiar to us. Our man walking in space. Here's obviously the Earth's surface. We see the moon behind him. And then we have out here the Brontosaurus. And now
No, I think that would be a
extinct species.
Tyrannosaurus, isn't it?
Tyrannosaurus?
I think it's a Tyrannosaurus
All
to
right.
be.
But isn't that an
proper.
interesting symbolism? Our walking in space with an extinct species of the Earth.
Show them this.
I'm going to, but now wait, this one right here. This, I assume, is Super Mouse.
Well,
with
it's
all
a
the
character
people.
called Mitki, actually. It's a futuristic story, and it's really quite charming. Surely it's based on Mickey Mouse. You'll find that a lot of science fiction illustration is based on Walt Disney. A lot of it comes from
Here
there.
we are. This is
Get a load
Warren's
of
favorite.
this Hummer.
Golly, that's awful.
That's something that everybody should have in their bedroom.
That obviously is a man's face. Here's the snake's tongue inside of the cobra head. What is particularly distressing about this is that you tell us it's not just a painting.
It is a sculpture. It is 4 feet tall and one of the most frightening things that I've ever seen. It's made out of epoxies, and it has a very lifelike patina to it.
Here's the cover of the book once
There
again.
are over 300 illustrations in this incredible book called Tomorrow and Beyond. Anybody that's a sci-fi buff would really love to look through this. It's the kind of thing that you don't have to have a dormitory wall to want to hang it up.
By the way, $9.95 in this paperback for all of these color photos. Solid. It's amazing. It's really great fun. Thank you for
very
coming.
much.
Ian Summer, pleasure to have you with us.
Thank you very much. Nice to be here.
We'll be right back.
Using the right zip code ain't really hard. It's 5 little numbers on a letter or card. Mine is 11214.
If you want what I have behind door number 3, use the right zip code when you write to me.
I cannot lie or pretend. I never forget the zip code of my best friend.
Speaking of bad memories, take my wife. I'll remember her zip code for the rest of my life.
Zip coding parcels isn't tough. It's getting it in the box that's really rough.
Learning your zip code can be just divine. And if you live near me, yours is 10019.
With all due respect, your zip I'll never forget. And perhaps in time you'll want to know mine.
Okay.
Mine's 90004.
When I'm on the road, writing my love a letter, I use the right zip code, because it makes it so much better. This is 10023.
After all the zip code people you just saw, I can really say no more, except make your letter better. Zip up your mail with the right zip code. Take my zip code, please.
Hi, I'm Don Peterson from downtown Brothertown with valuable deals and lots of wheels like this model here with winter equipment, with snows, heater, AFM stereo. Here's our competition model with heavy-duty equipment and bumper guards. And here's another model with racing stripes and steel-belted sneakers. Here's another model with tinted glass and air conditioning. So to check on the perfect model in your neighborhood, contact the local Big Brother office.
Suppose I'll find out what happened to the other troublemakers now.
Well, lots of strangers have bad accidents in this part of the woods.
Yeah, what kind of accidents?
Take a look in the hole, bright boy.
Get in the hole, boy.
Please, fellas, no.
Sunday mornings at 10:30 on Channel 11.
Get on with it. Oh, boy.
I think they caught us. You know, we can't...
Oh, hi there. Just good to see you this morning.
Good morning.
Well, we're just trying out the mic. We only have one microphone today, right? Yes. Hi, Nancy.
Hi, let me introduce you formally now.
Well,
a lot of our friends are not with us this time of
Say,
day.
does your husband watch? Okay.
Oh,
good.
don't worry about him. You're
All right.
bigger. Henry Meadow, Chef Hank Meadows, we lovingly call him, is with us on What's New and has been all of these years, and now will be pretty much making breakfasts in the morning for us, won't you?
Well, all right. Not all the time. Today we're going to
I want to leave, but I'm stuck on your butt.
Nancy, don't make it any worse. Oh, see you later. Just a nice young lady that we just talk over things all the time. Say, you know, we are going to make breakfasts, but we're going to do other things. And I don't know, our show's been on at one time or the other for about 16 years on this channel at one time or other. This is the first time we've been on it this early. And boy, I sure welcome, and I hope you're watching. Send me a letter, and if you got something for me to do for you, hey, now's the time to write in, because I can do it. Most anything that you want, you know, fancy dishes, inexpensive, whatever. But, you know, being on at this hour, I had some ground beef, and I had a little left over, and that's the reason I'm using it. I'll be honest with you. Now, this is fresh ground round, and you know the prices of steaks, and you know the prices of hamburger today. Well, what I've done here, and I'm not going to do it because I didn't want to take the time to mix it, but I added a small crust of bread. I had this left over, and I took, and it's about 2 slices of bread, and that just gives it a little body, stretches it out, and I put in a half a cup of wine. You can use red wine or a nice sherry wine, and I mixed it up with the bread and softened it up and put 1 egg in there. Now, there's a 1.5 pounds of ground beef in there, and it's very simple. Just mix it all together, and the seasoning that I put in was 1 teaspoon of my all-purpose seasoning. So I'm not going to dilly-dally anymore, and I have a 1.5 pounds, and with everything, if you can add some onions, you can have stretch this out, in 1 egg, you can stretch this out in almost 2 pounds. Now I'm going to take and just cut this up. This makes a nice size serving, and I want to mention that this is really, truly good because if you want to have a steak and you can't afford it, and you say, well, I just don't want a hamburger, well, we just take this, and you see I put a little hole right in there. Just shake this right up. And take and put a little hole, and then you can take a piece of cheddar cheese, put that cheddar cheese in there. You can put a piece of Swiss cheese in there, or you can take a piece of Roquefort, and you just set that in there. Now, I have some already cooked up. Now, I just take this, and I put all sealed, and you put it over there so it don't leak out. Sometimes it does. Now, I have some potatoes, which I've sliced up, and I take these potatoes, and I put in a goodly amount of seasoning and maybe 1 small onion, and I put a little butter or oil in there, and I mix this all up. Now I put that in the oven for about 10 minutes, 15 minutes at about 350 degrees. Now once that's done, I just take these, shape them up, put them over my potatoes after that time. And I don't brown these off because it takes a lot of time. This is an easy one dish that you can do at home. Now that I have that, I just cover it, I leave it in there about 25, 30 minutes, 350 degrees, and let me show you how this come out. Covered this all up. But let me show you. Ooh, boy, look at that. Now, one leaked out. I got a little wine type of this. And I do want, when I mention the wine, some people might be offensive to wine. Don't worry about it. All the alcohol cooks out. But if you don't want to put the wine in there, then just take and put milk in there, you know, half a cup of milk or half a cup of chicken stock or beef stock. And we take and we put these right on our tray. Gosh, they sure look good, and they smell delicious. I know at 5 o'clock in the morning, you say, oh, I can't eat all that. But, oh, just remember, at lunchtime, the beautiful... Now, look at those potatoes. Now, those are really cooked potatoes. Those are really got a lot of class to them. See that there? Gosh, this is just marvelous how this turns out. Now, most all our things, I don't say most of them, all our things turn out. Now, I wonder if, okay, just take a little gravy, and I made gravy right out of this juice, but I didn't have time, so I made some up ahead of time. Pour that gravy on top of there. Look how beautiful it is, and we're going to cut this right in half, and Nancy, look at that cheese. Doesn't that really look good? I'm going to show you. Look at this one here. A little more cheese in there. That's a red wine cheese. Can we see that? Doesn't that look really marvelous? Oh,
God. Do you realize it's not even 6 o'clock in the morning? I'll speak into your chest. That's all right. You can leave that there.
Okay.
Now you got gravy all over the microphone.
Well, I got gravy all over me, too, so yeah.
There you go. You know, a lot of people don't know that the chef has cookbooks that he has published, and he'll be offering them in the future here on What's New. And as he said to you, we're here every morning now from 5 to 6. We'd like to hear from you.
Okay, God love all of you. See you tomorrow.
I'm Al Hofstad, and as mayor of Minneapolis, I'm proud to know our city is filled with people willing to help each other when the need arises. But being willing to help isn't enough. You've also got to know how to help. For instance, would you know how to help a friend who suddenly suffers a heart attack, or the neighbor who chokes on food at your neighborhood barbecue? They will need your help within 3 minutes if they are going to survive. You can learn how to sustain life using nothing but your hands and head during their first few critical moments in a single 3-hour class session presented by our Office of Emergency Preparedness to the members of our community. If you aren't familiar with these skills, I urge you to enroll in one of these free sessions so that you too can be ready and able to help. 3 hours of your time now may mean the difference between life and death to a friend or relative. Call 823-5204 and ask about the ABCs of life-saving.
I like reading because it's fun.
It's informational and you get a lot of facts from it.
I'm not too good in athletics, and the best way I can pass my time is by reading. Like if you ever got in some kind of accident, you could just remember a book and maybe it would work out that way. Every time you read, you always learn.
Hello, I'm John Chancellor with some words of welcome for the new news staff at WTCN-TV. We are pleased to have WTCN join the roster of NBC-affiliated stations. We understand that great efforts have been made to make the WTCN news staff competitive in a very competitive part of the world. The Twin Cities have always been known for the quality of their politicians and the excellence of their journalists. So good luck to Jim Dyer, Glenn Burns, and Bob Kurtz and the new NBC 11 news team.
Up now, because we thank you very much for joining us this morning on What's New. As I've told you earlier already, my name is Nancy Nelson. Normally, I share this set with my co-host, Warren Martin, who happens to be in beautiful Scandinavia right now, but he'll be back next week. What's New has always been on the air from 11:30 to 12:30. This early in the morning is new to us. You're new to us, and I would imagine we might be new to you. We'd like very much to hear from you. Drop us a note. Tell us what you like. Tell us what you might like us to talk about, address ourselves to. Mostly, we just want to hear from you, to know that you're out there, since this is all so new to us. We'll be back tomorrow morning at 5 o'clock in the morning with some of our regulars. Of course, Chef Meadows will be in the kitchen with us every day. Lana Moso can get your day started with some figure fitness. Warren Martin, my name is Nancy Nelson. Have a nice day, and tune us in again tomorrow morning.
Lee Major stars.
Along with salt and battery.